two great games and two Ghostbusters games. Ghostbuster Corpse and Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord. One VR and one Unreal Engine VR mod. We're going to be having a look today at which overall is the best Ghostbuster experience. So the first game here that we've got is Ghostbusters. This is a flat screen game, the Ecto edition, where you get booted into a brand new Ghostbusters organization with the original characters and their daughters and relatives alike, and you will become a Ghostbuster and set out the tasks of recapturing all the ghosts that got out. This one is a very interesting one to play because of how versatile it is, flat screen and VR, but mainly what you are seeing here is the VR mod working in, where you play first person and you can either choose to have the options of your arms showing in the character, where you're holding weapons and guns etc, or it could be invisible and just a 60 DOF motion control immersive experience. With this, it takes a little bit of configuring to do, but it is really cool to be able to play this, as this is quite an enjoyable game, even if in flat VR. And a big shout out to OwlQuest right here for the PS5 PSVR game footage. This is Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord. With this one, obviously, it was built from the ground up, made specifically for VR, so you don't really have to do any configurations whatsoever to be able to go and play this. This, on the other hand, it is based in San Francisco, where all the main activities do happen in the game. There's a very immersive story game mode you can play with up to 4 players. You can do the same for the Ecto Edition flat screen version if you are playing it with the Unreal Engine VR mod. It's just no one will be able to see you play in VR. This one, on the other hand, it is on quite a few platforms. The other game, it is only available on PS5 and PC. This game is obviously just for the VR platforms, PSVR, Pico, Quest, and so. I have had the lucky chance to be able to play both of these games, especially this one as it's available on the MetaQuest 3, and I've got to say it is very fun. After the full game launch, it does make you feel like a Ghostbuster with the missions of tracking ghosts and capturing ghosts. The equipment is practically spot on, and if you are an Originals Ghostbusters fan of the original cast, it may be varied on which game you might like more, because with the VR version you don't see a lot of the original cast, but with the flat screen VR version you do see the original cast, as they're the ones that introduce you to being a Ghostbuster. Compared to Ghostbusters Ecto Edition, this gets you very familiarized with how everything works, with the scanner, the plasma gun, and the ghosts, so you get ready for what you're about to face. This was very enjoyable to go ahead and do, and I feel like the effects and the sounds and the lore and just overall weaponry of all the Ghostbusters artillery was a lot more accurate with this game versus to the VR version. But again, with the profiling of the UEVR injector, if you don't get it right, it will be a little bit of a hard time to go and play with this. This is in 3DOF, 6DOF as well, so this is very customizable, as I said, to go and be able to choose how you want to play. In terms of combat, with this version of the game, you will be doing a lot of missions where it's closing portals and capturing ghosts purely, and that is the majority of the game until you get further to the end, which I will not spoil if you haven't played. Versus Rise of the Ghost Lord, the action is again also where the missions are, so it's a more of a story-driven game with this one. So if you're not really a fan of the combat, this will be the game that you want to go and play. So on that note, folks, there it is. Both games equally great in their own qualities and their own life UI improvements. VR versus flat screen VR is very interesting to compare. But then again, I really think it's just up to how much accuracy you want it to be, like the Ghostbuster movies, if you are a fan. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on which game you'd prefer, or which game you would potentially try, the official VR game or the VR mod game. Let me know. But as always, folks, if you want to go and download these, These are available on Steam and the VR MetaQuest stores down below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. My name's HN. Bye bye now.